EHOME on the bottom. It's the fact that you're getting higher levels up in the Iron Shell. Roud's having to spend his Shadow Word to always attack. Okay, bottom lane, SVG. He's the one that will put down the wall. The Burrow Strike just goes on the Hellbear, keeps him away, and now the TP begins. They have enough damage to clap and the Lucid Beam. The TP was going to be cancelled anyway, and EHOME spilled first blood on the bot lane.
And now the rotation pays off this time around. Couldn't get away from that one, and EHOME doing everything to secure this bottom lane. It really feels like they've changed things up and made the priority this game to have a strong laning stage. The Dark's here in a 1v2 matchup. It's an ideal setting for him. The 3v2 at bottom lane, they're applying pressure, using the Enchantress early. And the mid lane is a good matchup for DK. It's a favorable matchup. Losing the Courier, though, makes this a bit more even. And as a result, this lane hasn't gone as well as they would have hoped for. But all in all, laning stage has been very good for EHOME.
Yeah, now the bottle is coming out. Well, okay, no, it's going back. Yeah, there we go, there we go.
And Enchantress wanted her boots and smoke, perhaps looking for a rotation. Could go for the mid lane. She finds the right creeps.
MSS is coming over to try and contest this little bit of a pull that's happening from EHOME. Lanham, still wonder if he wants to initiate properly into this. Doesn't have enough support to help him out. Like everything else is looking towards runes. Envy, you know he wants to try the... Okay, he's going to leap in. He kept the distance like he looked for an arrow, but he leaps in to grab the illusion rune. And then straight back to the mid lane.
Envy's just feeling it right now. He's making all these swag plays, and we'll see if he can keep it up. I mean, he's not winning his lane straight up. It's even on CS here, so by no means has it given him the complete advantage over the DK, who hasn't died, of course.
A lot of control into the creeps of Garda. Having both the Mud Golems as well as the Dark Troll Summoner. There's a lot of stuns, a lot of quick damage that comes out from the Mud Golems. It's really... Like, you don't expect it anywhere near as hard as it comes.
Yeah, and that's where NP, I think, respecting the aggressive potential of this EHOME defensive laner, actually going to smoke up both Sankey and Disruptor and look to channel in on this mid lane, give Envy a bigger edge here if possible.
This is when the rune steal actually pays dividends, because Old Chicken sitting at half of his life would be full if he had it before. Going to rely maybe a little bit on raindrops to help him, and Naga Illusion makes Old Chicken a little bit timid, moves back into now the tower, gets to breathe fire off, the Burrow Strike is there, support is in the neighborhood from Garda. Old Chicken needs to survive, but just cannot do it. Disruption, and Sylar rotates in, looking to bring him the extra assistance, so MSS runs north, he's going to go down, they chase him down with Luna, and SVG over into the Radiant jungle. The beam isn't enough, he can't get close enough, he needs a little bit more help. SVG starts to TP, there was nothing that would stop him. Sylar was too far away to lend the Lucid Beam, so it ends up being an off lane for a mid lane trade-off for the kills. But a heavy rotation from both sides.
Yeah, that's ultimately worth it for NP, since they're the ones who just have the free farming Nagasar in the safe lane. AUI sitting up at 40 CS with the Arcane Boots. He's got the mana to sustain the constant mirror image Riptide spam to farm both the jungle and the lane.
Look to the SK. Disruption, catcher, Old Chicken, he's that instant Dragon Tail stun, he's going to get it as well with the Breeze Fire. SK copying so much damage. The amplification still only at level 1 for the catcher. He went for 2 with Disruption.
They had no detection there. They really only barely get that kill.
The stun! The arrow from Envy! He threw it from the mid lane. He actually connected. That's a long stun time. And Garda, he's not even here for a rewarding mission. He'll steal the Centaur. The wall will come up. And he needs to play the distance game. But again, Envy right in the money. Leaps in. And that Enchantress caught out at the secret shop. Bottom lane's been pressured very heavily. Sway Garda probably thought he had more space to work with.
Yeah. Just feels like EHOME aren't getting enough now, with the couple nice rotations coming out from the off laners to go towards that middle lane. They really need to start pushing some towers and putting pressure onto NP, because Naga is not being beaten in lane. The Darkseer, yes, is getting farmed, but by no means is it coming at the cost of Naga not getting farmed. She is free farming like no other, and this is the biggest concern that EHOME have to deal with right now.
And you can see AUI, like, no reason to rush up the Relic. He's still playing in a rather difficult lane against 9 Shell Darkseer.
He's got the jungle items, the constant mana, the Iron Talon as well.
You know exactly what he's looking for next. Like, with 7 minutes in, he's already got all of the, like, Arcanes with the Iron Talon and the PMS. It's a simple maneuver to now go directly for the Radiance.
Yep. Uses his Mango with the Arcane Boots to get even more mana out of it. So it's all the like little small efficiency plays coming out from him, but real action is brewing up bottom lane. NP looking to group up a little bit here. It's all about creating space for the Naga, but also shutting down Sylar as much as possible and stopping EHOME from being able to kind of group up, push, and take too many towers in the early game.
It's crazy to think that MP are the ones looking to be aggressive before they've got the rock up. Enchantress normally wins in these type of battles just because the amount of support she can bring into the lane. And here she goes again. MSS will see her as SVG is a little bit further away. So the creeps start with a clap. The Centaur stomps there too. Lanham going to put the catcher on him. SVG is going to drop very, very quickly here. One charges will allow him to stay alive. They can't reach him just yet. Even the glimpse try and drag Lanham back away. Well, that doesn't really work. And the Eclipse from Sylar. SVG starts his TP. MSS. Oh, the Lucid Beam. It reached him just enough. Lanham behind him, but Eternal Envy comes in with a surprise starfall. At least we'll get some revenge for his fallen teammate, but then manages to slip the arrow between creeps. It's nothing with that. A 2-for-1 trade-off on the bottom.
Yeah, nice move from Envy. He's actually being very impactful here in the early game. From the Courier snipes to denying DK runes, now coming towards his bottom lane to at least get a cleanup kill, and every little bit helps as far as making more and more space for AUI as time goes on. AUI was forced to kind of heal up back at base, but he doesn't mind too much. A small bit of downtime for the Naga to heal up can lead to a lot more farm if you go back out to the lanes with full HP, full mana to constantly use those illusions to farm both jungle as well as lane.
I was wondering how long it would take for MP to commit more heroes to this top. Darkseer having a very casual move to his mech, and now Lanham, in fact, and Sylar try and predict the rotations. They smoke at the tier 2 tower, so that fresh observer ward down from SVG doesn't see anything.
They're smoking up here, but like that's as Darkseer is going back to base to heal.
Envy. They're coming in close. Disruption. Lanham didn't want him. He saw the support, went for that instead. The arrow is a short range one. Sylar waiting for it. The Lucid Beam is out. SK is low. So with the Burrow Strike, they find the kill. The SD Illusions are chasing after MSS.
Yeah,
but there won't be enough damage to find it.
They knew the Sand King was low, so they thought they could two-man smoke kill him. They thought that Sand King was being greedy, trying to farm for his blink on low HP, but MP were up there with a couple different heroes there, because that was a two-man smoke from an SC Luna with no Eclipse. They did not have any way to fight into NP outside of a single hero pickoff, which would have been nice if they could get it, but it wasn't the case.
Interestingly from Envy, he has that on cooldown for a while. I think he was hoping for the 10-minute rune, but Old Chicken was moving up for that. He's lucky it's just a bounty rune, no action rune to work with.
Yep. Naga Illusion's being very pesky. Just chipping away at old Lanham and delaying any kind of a mid-play here.
It's still just going to feel very odd. Like, hey, Naga's getting really big, but then you've got SD, then you've got Enchantress to actually work for EHOME. So it's like, well, now you've technically got... Yeah, AUI becomes a trader unwillingly.
Yep. That's a good point. It's one of those things where EHOME won't be shy to go to the super late game as far as having the damage and the carry potential on their side. They will be a bit shy to go into big team fights, because that's where Sand King, I mean, you mentioned the setup from the song into Epicenter, Burrow Strikes, Warlock Ultimates, Static Storms is scary.
Trying to look for SVG. Gonna see him go in visit the last second of the Moonlight Shadow. The Iron Shell sticking him out, but now the Burrow Strike into the rock. The damage on Sylar is huge. But he's still got 12 one charges. Glimpse back, now turns on the Eclipse with the defensive disruption. Alarm to get the full Eclipse off, but now still on the run out. MSS can't get close enough. Lanham creates the distance and will sacrifice himself, combining up with the rock. Oh, there's your first TP out. And the Warlock does end up going down, so it's the Darkseer who actually ends up killing off the Warlock. And now 11 back into the front row, going after MSS on the top lane, trying to play around this Darkseer wall. Garda low on life, but it's going to be that top lane where it's a triple kill now for old 11. The pressure continually placed from EHOME in the mid. Warlock will end the spree of the Darkseer.
Oh, Darkseer did such a good job in that team fight and then gets taken out by a Warlock Golem at the end, but
Old 11, Disruption Catcher, AUI. There's no fun to everybody. You all have to look tired.
This is looking much more like the old 11 from game 1 on Batrider, making all the big plays for his team, getting a lot of farm. It was a 7-minute Blink Dagger there on Bat. This game around, not playing the initiating type hero, but getting involved in the fights, has a mech Arcane Boots just 12 minutes in. They missed the tower deny at bottom. Lanham kind of vacated that bottom lane as a creep wave swooped in to get the last hit, so MP get a bit more cash out of that one, but as it stands, I think EHOME still have to be concerned. The Naga is getting closer and closer to that relic, #1 on the net worth chart. This split push threat is going to become very, very real as time goes on.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly a couple of minutes ago, though. Like, EHOME as well as MP, they're both happy to take this into the late game. Both teams have so many perks going into the late game. EHOME obviously can turn stuff around. Oh, top lane. Old 11 thought he had an opening charged in. Now SVG puts him in a storm. Does he have enough life? The mech charge is still available for the Darkseer. No surge, just going to back him. Looking for some interruption to slow down the MP attack.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if either team feels like, oh, we got to end this fast, or if we're going to see that fall back and pick up some Midases. Like, here's like Darkseer and Enchantress could theoretically say, all right, let's just go super late game and try beat the Naga, get some Midases. Same thing for NP on heroes like Warlock, Disruptor. You can theoretically justify these Midas pickups. The alternative is you just try and end the game by 20-25 minutes, which is where you want to get all the early game item possible. And that to me is more the EHOME style. As much as they could go late game, use the fact they have the enchant, use the disruption, I feel like there's more EHOME strength where it's just let's play fast, let's beat them before they get the Naga Siren too scary. As it stands, we're going to have towers getting exchanged here. EHOME take the bottom lane where NP just trading that for farm. NP are more just inclined to avoid fights until they have that Radiance. Also importantly, the Song of the Siren still on cooldown from that bottom fight. So if they want to try set up some kind of big engagement around the Sand King, the Warlock ultimates, the Static Storm, they've got to wait for 50 seconds before AUI has that sleep again. But mid lane, it's EHOME. They've smoked up. They're seeing behind Old Chicken here, looking to fight around him. Whether or not NP will take the bait's another matter. It looks like EHOME just going to force things here by chipping away at the tier 2 tower.
Top lane, Old 11. That burrow strikes out. The arrow from Envy. Oh, Old 11's got friends that will stay with him. Puts on the wall, and MSS has to hide inside the sandstorm. Odd 11 knows he doesn't have a kill here until support arrives. It's AUI, MSS so low. Odd 11 trying to burn him down with the Iron Shell. Odd 11 finds the kill! Straight trade off at the end of the day. A lot of support rotations in, but it's EHOME who now create more space in the mid lane. Pushing in MP. They'll even leave an extra present of Luna behind.
Well, they're not going to be able to break through, but they will kind of scare NP a bit, bring them back and take a lot of map control. Both mid lane and bottom lane now missing their tier 2 towers makes it very easy for EHOME to secure Roshan if they want, and they are looking to threaten to at least chip away at this tier 3 tower. They want Naga to ideally TP back. They don't have to force the fight, but they just want to try and limit what Naga's doing on the map. Fortunately, they don't feel too safe in sticking around and will back off to farm the other lanes.
Oh, I've got a couple of teams watching from the audience. That's the boys. That's Adfinum sitting at the back there. So say hello, everybody. Say hello. Wonderful to have the team still sticking around watching a whole bunch of games, of course. Big matches still to come up later today, and I think those boys just got off a signing session too.
Yeah, they'll be taking on Newbie in a very exciting first round encounter. But they've got to wait for this one to finish. EHOME and NP going the distance. So we talked about how these are teams prone for the long games, and with the Naga Siren hitting that 16-minute Radiance timing, it's feeling like NP have the tools they need to take it into the late game and not collapse in the early game and see any kind of a successful high ground push just yet from EHOME.
Give it time, man. Give it time. Maybe 40 minutes. Then will be a time for that high ground push. Radiance is now done, so it took 16 minutes, but AUI has completed it.
It's scary. You try and group up as 5 to push high ground into the team fight. MP is not all about the split push. They're much more about the team fight at certain points of the game. Blink Dagger on the Sand King, the Warlock, Fatal Bonds plus Rock combo.
Well, Old Chicken's found his target. With that extra little bit of speed, they catch up to AUI, Song of the Siren. This is going to allow MP to set up. Rose has the ulti. He wants to throw it. Here comes the arrow. It hits the DK. Rock committed, plus the Storm, plus the epicenter. Overkill is not in MP's vocabulary. They are just sending a message to EHOME for the next fights. Just remember what we can do. That is everything we can do.
I guess the scary thing is if EHOME now push forward while those spells are on cooldown, but take another look here. They just did not have the damage. Very overzealous attempt on a kill on a Naga Siren with just those two heroes. If they had like a third hero with some good damage output, like a Luna Eclipse, yeah, it's a possible kill, but without that third hero, they weren't even close to killing AUI. And they get punished, but again, this is the cooldown period now where NP have to be very careful. 70 seconds without the Moonlight Shadow or Epicenter. 70 seconds without the Song. They are missing these ultimates, and EHOME can get these lanes pushed out fast. They could theoretically threaten to go for an objective like Roshan. Naga Illusion's just so effective at keeping everything pushed out that it doesn't even look like EHOME are going to get an opportunity to do that.
Nope, they have to wait. They have to wait for the right time. NP, again, they go on this hunt with the Aghanim Scepter on Envy. You do have that big burst, but okay, EHOME, they're still going to do it. They're underneath MP, no big ultimates. They are going in.
They're just in, I mean, the 80 seconds on the wall one is the big one.
Wait for it, here it comes. Arrow, flies, hit Sylar. Full 5 seconds, they waited out. The Naga Illusions hovering around, and now SD says, well, thank you very much. I'll take one of those to myself as a souvenir home. MSS considering the Burrow Strike fall, but they all get fatally bonded. They have to bail out. Every! In for the jump, triple kill! He's done the work! Even the arrow to Old Chicken, it was all set up by the fatal bonds, and EHOME, together they are tethered with a glimpse back into him! They go again! SK will find the kill! EHOME gets team wiped, and that is the epitome of a disaster!
Whew. Okay. Holy shit, that was something.
Respect the combo! Respect the combo!
I wore my little Miranda pin today. I feeling like I've done my part, giving my energy to Envy. That was such a good time for him to come
see that again, slow it up, fatal bonds, one hit, and look at the damage! You spread it out! There's a reason why Warlock fatal bonds is so...
MSN's like, yeah, that's a fuck.
That's another day at the office. Let me just find my Dota 2 tie.
Oh god, he wasn't even impressed by that one.
Just Envy things. We expect that from him. Oh, NP now looking to punish even more. Garda gonna get glimpsed back on the bottom. SVG with the help of Envy again, jumping for the double Starfall. Enchantress with the stick charges, trying to actually stay alive long enough with 3 points up and Untouchable might be able to do it. The back is there. Now Envy in too deep. There's that hit. Coming from the impetus of Garda. 11 not sure if he really wants to stick around for anything more of this, and yeah, he doesn't.
Oh, they've got a Warlock
going to start it up with that Warlock. The rock can drop. The arrow will connect again. They go for the combo, and the star falls through their work. NP racking up more kills on the board. They'll take the tier 2 tower. Remember the old enemy, all of EHOME wasn't there. Old Chicken pushing out the mid, Sylar's pushing out the top. They're going to try and force MP to come home.
I mean, MP may be the ones who want to keep on pushing. They don't hit buildings all too well, and they're also in no rush. They have won 2 big fights in a row. They have a incredible gold lead at this point. They do not have to end this game anytime soon. If anything, they're looking at Naga Siren as a hero that's not really breaking high ground until you get 3 or 4 big items. And yeah, they fall back. They're playing the long game. They get the Midas as I talked about. Disruptor now, SVG picks up a Midas, and things are looking very good for the Canadian squad.
And there they are with all these Midases. If that Aghanim Scepter even remotely gets close for SVG, this game for EHOME may just be over. They went for the stable draft. They went for a really solid thing. Now they'll have to show a lot of patience. Play defensive. Don't lose out too much. Turn the Naga's power against herself. Don't get caught out by this combination that NP loves to throw.
It's really their only option. It's kind of funny how EHOME are going to be the ones playing more the avoid fights and split push, yet the Naga is on the other team. It's going to be Darks here trying to push out lanes. Luna, same thing, avoiding those 5v5 fights. They just cannot go into that sleep. I mean, every single hero combos with the Naga setup. You've got arrows from Mirana as well as the AoE damage. You've got the Sand King Burrow Strike Epicenter, the Warlock ultimate with Fatal Bond, Disruptor Static Storm. 5 heroes that can create these beautiful team fights for NP. And all they need is like 2 or 3 ultimates to land. The 4th or the 5th is just like icing on the cake at this point.
And look at how now they are trying to approach the initiation. The Iron Shell Old Chicken looking for somebody in the neighborhood, but thanks to that Dire Observer, they knew it was there. The Radiant Sentry was down when the DK walked over the Dire Obs. He wasn't visible, but he was able to see the supports, and that's what makes it work. So Old Chicken, Shadowblade wants to do something. It's Rose.
Oh, this is dangerous. The smoke from NP, though, is going to run right into him.
Old Chicken, invis, run.
There's no detection. It's just sentries on the Warlock, which isn't really the ideal hero to have in the front. So if your smoke pops, you're not going to have those sentries right away.
EHOME's leaving.
Yeah, NP can kind of force this bot lane if they want. They can They have so many options available to them. They can sit back, farm the map, they can try and force a high ground push because that's going to lead to a 5v5 team fight, which plays into the strength of their draft. So very difficult for EHOME right now, who just can't really move out on the map too effectively.
Well, Old Chicken, as well as Garda, are the ones tasked with defending the bottom lane, even though they know they could be initiated on any time, just like this. The Fetterbond's connecting into the creep wave. Old Chicken goes inside Invis. They drop down the rock. Where's that fish in the arrow? Envy connects. He found Garda on the back line. The double starfall will do the work. EHOME down 2. Buyback is available on the Enchantress, but not the big man, not the DK. Silas pressure on this top lane. MP are happy with this. They'll trade a tier 2 for a tier 3. And now they start sliding the SD into the kill.
Style points from MSS. That is some sick play from him. And
you sack the racks?
Dude.
Is that actually what you have to do now? Oh no, the Darkseid is too close! They jump in again! Time and time again, EHOME are getting caught with their pants down.
They still have all their ultimates outside of the Warlock, but that's fine. You can easily fight without the Warlock ulti if you've got your 4 others in. That is an easy Rax claim for NP, just finding all these pickups, chain feeds coming out from EHOME, and
Envy saw Sylar. He saw him up inside the jungle. Might be trying to find it if he can just get that nice little fishing arrow. The vision, there is no observer wards on the river, so yeah, Envy will bail out, and so will the bottom lane after MP took the entire Rax.
This really sets them up for success. I mean, EHOME they're so far behind on farm at this point. Only the Luna has farm and level. She's about to complete a BKB, but that's not an item that's going to win you the game. It may help you do well in one team fight.
Epicenter, they found the opening. DK, again, no buyback. Old Chicken walk out, and they're going to glimpse in Garda. His snare is there, the TP out, 0. Yep, he's got the time, but he's fatally bonded up. The heal back at Fountain is enough from the Sprite to finally return to Garda.
Yeah, it's brutal. The toughest thing right now is like some of the levels on EHOME. DK's level 11. Meanwhile, Warlock level 13. The supports on MP with these Midas pickups have more farm, more levels, and are having a bigger impact than core heroes on EHOME. Outside of the Luna, EHOME heroes are all behind where they're meant to be. They're missing their benchmark.
I think Silas actually legitimately totally dead.
Yep.
Stormed up, quick rotation. MP knew exactly what they want. They smoked the second after the fight.
Oh,
and again, EHOME are down a core with no buyback.
His BKB's on the courier. He didn't pick it up. He didn't have it there. And
at least MP don't know this, so they may not force the issue.
Yeah, I mean, again, they don't need to force the issue. This is one of those games where even if they, let's say, theoretically could have taken Raxed because there's no buyback for one, NP don't know that. They're afraid of a Luna buyback with a DK initiation, catching them by surprise and winning a team fight. For NP, it's like, we're so far ahead, let's take another Roche, let's take these last out of towers, let's get some more wards down, let's buy a gem. There's so many other lower risk plays that NP can make, which also ensure they win this game, that there's no need for them to rush into taking a second lane of Rax. One Rax advantage at 25 minutes is a huge, huge win when you have a Nagasara. You're not meant to be upper lane of Rax this early on.
Arrow flies, 5 seconds on Old Chicken. Envy wants to capitalize. Defensive disruptions there, however, from Old Lanham. Making this initiation difficult. Luna's back up with her BKB. But MP have every ability that they want up. Every single ultimate in 9 seconds. That's the Disruptor Storm. That's the only thing they are waiting on.
And once they get the Ags on Disruptor, which is very close, that's where you have the sleep into Static Storm, preventing a Luna BKB. That BKB 4,000 gold investment will be rendered useless.
Top lane, Burrow strikes there, Sylar the arrow. As it's still a 10-second BKB that has to be committed for this.
Almost as good as a kill. Not quite, but very close to it.
It's the greatest thing for NP.
They're going in bot lane.
Want to fight. They want to slip in because without that BKB from the Luna, she can't withstand the NP engagement.
They see him with the sentry wards though. They know what's going on.
Well, observer ward to be placed down. Quick D ward of a D ward of a D ward. And MP, with no vision inside the base, they're being a little bit more cautious about this. And you got to remember, every time they send in one of these Naga illusions, it gets sent back at double the strength. So maybe they just go for what just came up. Roshan has just respawned.
Wow, that was the fastest possible Roche respawn. I was looking at the timer like, okay, let's see how long till Roche. And it just instantly respawned. And we'll see how fast they actually scout this one out. They're also going to wait. I mean, for MP, again, there's some really game-changing item pickups coming their way. The Aghanim Scepter on Disruptor being the biggest one. Guardian Greaves already complete on Warlock, so he's got that big item. I mean, Naga is not even that farmed yet. I mean, she's well on top of the net worth, but this is 27 minutes in. You're looking at Naga 6 slotted by 35 to 40 minutes if you just give AUI a bit more time. So they're going to just wait things out. Rose will scout the Roche pit, which will give them the intel they need that Roche has in fact respawned, and their lineup isn't the best physical damage for killing Roche, but when you've got the lanes pushed out as they have, they can sure as hell take Roche, even if it is a little slow.
Yeah, they got all the time in the world. Easy regeneration when you've got a Warlock standing behind you. The question is, can EHOME do anything about it? The lanes are pushed out just far enough they can go, but when Sada cops a 5-second arrow from Envy, and Envy continues to starfall down the top lane, maybe not the easiest way to get in.
Yeah, Envy just shows on the map that he's not afraid of anyone. The catch on EHOME is limited to the Dragon Knight Shadowblade initiation, which could catch Envy, to be realistic, but he knows that his role right now is to keep these lanes pushed out and make sure that Roche goes down without a hitch.
It's about a minute and a half they're going to take to kill Roshan. That's very long time.
I mean, Naga is not a hero that kills Roche fast.
No.
Neither is the Ags Mirana, but hey, you get it.
Right, and actually making sure SVG gets the last hit, so he gets just enough money when he uses his Midas to actually have the Aghanim Scepter.
So he's like, I guess I'll take it.
He'll pick it up, but SVG's got his Axe.
Yeah.
Like, this is the critical item right now on the Disruptor.
They're going to walk up, Song, Static Storm, Dead Luna. Luna will have buyback at least, so it means she can buy back and still have the BKB. But that's where NP can then reset. They can then wait for the cooldown of Song. It's a level 2 Song, so it's still 90-second cooldown.
They're going to amplify it with the Veil of Discord from Envy.
That sounds like overkill, but sure, why the hell not?
Overkill is MP's middle name. You got to kill it with a very flashy sequence of sword slashes.
I mean, there's no other items that's the thing, like I say overkill, like what items do you really need? Why not just get more damage? You don't need survivability. You've got a BKB already. You've got 1800 HP. NP's doing everything right, and
even AUI is rapidly approaching a butterfly.
That's where,
this is the dream, Naga. You were saying, like you didn't say the words ticking time bomb, but it felt like that with AUI's farm he was getting on the top lane. And there was nothing which EHOME was really doing about it. Like, the man who was getting farm in return was Old 11 on the Darkseer, who's stuck shy of level 12 with only Greaves really to his name. There's no Blink Dagger. If Old 11 had that, then maybe you would look for some kind of initiation, but there's no AoE stun either to follow up and synergize with the Darkseer. There was no Sven pickup. It's Luna instead. And she's out of position. She's there holding the bottom lane out while the rest of MP prepare to attack the top.
You don't have to find some way to initiate, but it's so hard. It's like a losing battle when you think of the team fight that NP have, and EHOME are so limited in their options. They don't have a BKB on the Dragon Knight, which makes him incredibly squishy to the magic damage AoE combos coming out from NP. It's only Luna on the front lines, who also doesn't have level 16
Where
yet.
are you going, DK? He knows he's got vision. Thanks to the Observer Ward. Okay, he's just coming out just to kill the Dire Observer Ward. Sure. That we're sitting on the hillside, but NP, at least Shadow Blaze down. That item's been effective for a DK. As they'll leap away. Just a little bit of chip only.
They have scouted out the Ags on Disruptor as well, importantly. But whether or not... The knowing is not everything here. That's one of those things where you may know what your opponent's about to do, but can you stop it from happening? Because you've got to find some way to defend these buildings. It's going to be that slow, painful Naga Siren death. Even, Mirana just poking away at this building, one right click at a time, chipping away.
And what do you want to do? Initiate on Envy, using Half-Life? Like, he wants that to happen. He has the Aegis.
He's got all kinds of backup too, with the Warlock Rock as well as the Song.
Now, this is when SD actually has to start copying Sylar time and time again, just to send him down a bottom lane to keep that push going out, or doing what he's doing now, which is taking the Naga Illusions. Moonlight Shadow. Okay, here they come. They're still having a little bit of trouble. The Naga Illusions are there. Envy just going to have his Aghanims go, and AUI preps up the fight with a Song of the Siren. You got the Luna as well as the DK sending runs off each other. The Storm, no, the positioning. The timing was wrong. Epicenter will come down. Now Luna has to fight and fight hard. Eternal Envy losing life too quickly with the Impetus work. Disruptor is down, and EHOME are able to mount a defense. The coordination just a little bit off there from Disruptor.
Yeah, they didn't hit the arrow. He was expecting the arrow to land on the Luna, I guess, but they slightly mistimed it with the sleep and the arrow. The arrow went through Luna's body, and then the sleep got turned off as the Luna did not get stunned up by the arrow. The Static Storm also was not with a kinetic field, so Luna wasn't trapped at all. And did manage to get out of it and then pop the BKB. Not the end of the world for MP. It's one of those things where, yeah, they kind of botched that team fight a little bit, but their losses was very minimal. They traded 1-for-1 in terms of supports there. They lost nothing whatsoever.
For EHOME, though, they're very happy because the game could have been over if that worked. Like, if you lose both your Luna as well as your DK, even if you do buy back and you're able to defend the top lane, it's these heroes being crippled, can't transition to an item. Because Old Chicken went for the Shadow Blade, he's never reached his BKB. He's never reached another big item that allows him to stand during the fights. And Luna's also now got a little bit more space, so she can go up and get that Mana Star. So we'll have a quick look at it again. You can see the positioning of Luna and DK, but SVG is a little bit too late to the party. The wall doesn't have its effect in time, and then Sala can stand his ground.
It was this kind of awkward position between the Dragon Knight and the Luna where they were far enough apart you couldn't get both in the Static Storm, yet they still kind of tried to catch both in the Static Storm Connect field. They needed to just commit on one of the two, not both.
We need subtitles for this. There was also something that happened while we're actually in our replay. The courier from EHOME brought up the Mana Style and it got picked off. So SVG was able to catch out the EHOME courier as it was going back to the EHOME base that has the Manta on it for 2.5 minutes. Sylar does not have this option.
Yeah, it's going to get even tougher. Now the next push is coming, all the ultimates just about back up, only the Warlock one 30 seconds away, but they're also waiting for the Butterfly. So with the Butterfly, all that agi coming into for the Naga illusions. Yeah, it helps EHOME a little bit, but more than anything, it helps NP because those illusions will sometimes be hitting the buildings, and that's more than enough for NP.
Finally, the town gets denied. EHOME were waiting for maybe an opportunity to have a crack. Old Chicken sitting inside of that Shadow Blade. He's right in range of the Dire Sentry Ward. And they should be very aware of this, considering they were the ones who attacked it to try and de-ward it. MSS trying to play fancy, blinks and four-staffing Old Chicken in close. No one's really close enough to go straight in for initiation. They do see Old 11 sitting. Actually, do they get a glimpse of him? Song of the Siren comes again. Oh, there's three together. Enchantress, Luna, and SD. This time they're the combo. The rock wall drops. The epicenter is there. And EHOME are wiped from the face of the earth. But don't worry, they will come back again. Maybe stronger than ever. There's your buybacks, and now actually even glimpsing the DK all the way back to Fountain. They jump in once again. Sylar and Garda down low. Old Chicken to the front line. He'll stun up. The Eclipse goes to work, but Luna's already down. That's a dive back for her. They'll get another one. This is the game. They've lost the DK. And P will do it. They bring down EHOME 2-1 and advance themselves forward in the Boston Major.
It was a tough round one opponent for them, but they bounced back so well from that game one defeat. That was some very pristine team fight outside of that one slightly botched one. NP had the drafts, they had the plays, everything came together really nicely in this Game 3 decider.